One of the things we talk about is how this whole non binary movement that's going on in Hollywood, especially right now, is nothing but a grift, right? Like, we can basically see it through these celebrities that they're essentially just making it up to try to stay relevant in the headlines, and we've seen a lot of them do it. Ellen Page was one of them, with now becoming Elliot Page, apparently, and being trans. And Demi Lovato was one of the first ones to really do it, to be on a grand scale and come out as non binary, because it was just the easy thing to do at the time. She cut her hair. She kept it really simple because we all knew that eventually she was going to go back to being a girl, because she was only being non-binary so long as it was relevant. And now we have an article here from Bounding Into Comics with a headline that says Demi Lovato ditches they them pronouns and explains that it was absolutely exhausting to educate people. Ladies and gentlemen, you are willing to give up your own gender identity simply because it was too hard. You went back to your longer hair. You went back to your girly looks. You got rid of the short hair, butch look. You got rid of all that and went back to being girly because it was just too much to educate people. Oh, wow. What an amazing excuse for wanting to go back to what we all knew you were from the beginning. You just realize that the grift essentially has no more clout for you, and there's no reason to play pretend anymore. So we're going to get into this article, guys. But of course, before we do, just consider giving this video a like to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing because we're on our way to 25,000 subscribers. It says 2 years after publicly claiming to be non-binary, former Disney star, multiple award-winning pop artist, and activist Demi Lovato announced she ditched the use of they/them pronouns to refer to herself. Now, if you guys remember, this is essentially how she looked when she went insane, okay? Everybody remembers this. This is how she looked when she went insane. And I believe this is how she looks now. So she went back to her girly self. It says in a new interview with GQ Hype Spain, the Princess Protection Program actress revealed her reason for the sudden identity and pronoun change was because she was sick and tired of educating people on why she claimed to be non-binary person and use they/them pronouns. Now imagine having so much vindication within yourself that you would want to come out as non-binary in the first place, but then apparently not have any confidence in your own gender identity to want to constantly explain yourself, so you went the easy route and went back to being a girl. Like, it's unbelievable to me. And it's because we all know they genuinely don't mean it, right? Like, we know this is a thing. We know they genuinely don't mean it when they come out as non-binary. 99.9% of the time, most of them who do it are coming out as a grift, or they're coming out because they're mentally ill. It's one of the two. Nobody actually genuinely is non-binary, and for the 0.1% that really believe that they are, they can live their lives, the rest of their lives, as being such, and nobody would care. But it's people like Demi Lovato that do not help the LGBTQ community at all, because they use them as a grift, and the moment that grift is dried up, they want to go back to being quote-unquote normal. So it says, I constantly had to educate people and explain why I identified with those pronouns. The Sorry Not Sorry singer told GQ Hype Spain it was absolutely exhausting. I just got tired, but for that very reason, I know that it's important to continue spreading the word. Well, you're not really doing much to spread the word if you went back to being a girl. The Dancing with the Devil singer also expressed her frustration with the lack of open discussions over gender-neutral spaces, such as sex-assigned bathrooms. I face this every day, she stated. For example, in public toilets, having to access the women's bathroom even though I don't completely identify with it. Amazing. I can't with how crazy these people are. How are you so crazy and you're just allowed to just run free? They gotta bring back asylums, man, because these people are crazy. Lovato theorized that this could be due to being conditioned to select women on government documents because there are no other options available, nor should there be. Crazy lady. Or it also happens when filling out forms, such as government documents or any other where you have to specify your gender, she acknowledged. You only have two options, male and female, and I feel like none of that makes sense to me. I think this has to change. Hopefully with time, there will be more options. Well, hopefully with time, there won't be more options and we keep it to what it really should be, male and female. Like, you shouldn't have anything crazy on government documents. These are legal documents. You want to go identify something nonsensical? By all means, go ahead, do it. It's society, right? You could go do it. But in terms terms of a actual government document, you should have to factually fill that out. And if not, if you're lying on that, you should be held accountable for it. Non-binary is not a thing. You can make it up, you can play pretend all you want, and that's fine. That's fine within the social space. You could go do you, boo. Plenty of people will tell you slay queen and accept it. But in terms of government documents, that should not be a thing. And honestly, I gotta be real with you guys, that should never be a thing. Like, I never want to see non-binary listed on government documents. It's bad enough that certain like organizations and companies, when they hire you and they ask you your gender, they have like 20 different freaking genders listed, and then right below it they have other on top of that as well. So it's like, it's ridiculous. Male and female, that's what it is, no matter what. So it says Lovato recently revealed she suffered from depression and addiction and is currently dealing with anxiety. She even noted that there have been times where I have dealt with depression, where I've had suicidal ideations, and it's something that I've struggled with since I was very young, and it's something that I can still struggle with if I don't stay on top of it. She also revealed at 18 years old that she sought treatment for an eating disorder, self-harm, and emotional issues. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the person that's coming out as non-binary, right? This is the person, these are usually the people who come out as non-binary. They normally have some sort of mental illness somewhere in their past or present, and they are definitely adhering to that by coming out as non-binary. So it feeds into the whole cycle of mental illness, and it's unfortunate because it goes unchecked in this country. Nobody cares about it. Everybody's kind of willing to just let it go and let it be because nobody wants to be bothered with it. Nobody wants to actually help these people, and that's really the sad part of this entire conversation. People like Demi Lovato, I don't think are genuinely mentally ill. I think personally she knows what she's doing and she's grifting hard off of the non-binary movement. But there are people out there like her that are not necessarily grifting, that genuinely believe that there's such a thing as non-binary, and they definitely need help. But unfortunately, they're never going to get help. All that's going to happen is they're going to get enabled by people who want to use them to virtue signal, and number two, want to hope that they never get bothered by them. That's just the truth. They hope that they never get bothered by these non-binary people, so they feel like if they virtue signal and send them on their way, that they're never going to have to deal with them or see them ever again. It's just the truth, man. Interestingly, she also revealed that she needed to limit her social media usage. I got to a point where I realized I can't read anything because if I read positive comments, it feeds my ego, and if I read negative comments, it damages my ego, and ultimately, I don't want to navigate out of ego at all. Demi currently lists both they, them, and she, her pronouns on her Instagram profile. Ladies and gentlemen, this woman is completely going back to quote-unquote normal. She's going to go back to being a woman because that is what's easy for her. That is what's easy for her to maintain herself in Hollywood. She gave the non-binary thing a try. She grifted on it for a little while. I'm sure it helped her slightly in terms of being in the headlines and being in the news and being relevant or whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, it dries up, and it dries up quick because nobody really cares. Hence why you have all of these celebrities out here coming out as non-binary because that's just the cool thing to do right now. Eventually, over the next few years, it's not going to be the cool thing to do, and you're going to have celebrities coming out as something totally different in the hopes to garner some sort of reaction, some sort of clout from it, or some sort of relevance from it, and regardless, it's always going to fade in time because they're just not good actors, and nobody genuinely cares about them at all. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.